Let's go ahead and continue on with this reading. Again, I am going to go ahead and look at the future energies. So in the present moment, what the chi is trying to do is bring in that wise leader. I'm going to also go back here to the Denise Lynn Sacred Travelers card deck. So Spirit, looking for guidance. What direction are we headed after March 3rd? Where do we go from here? Now that we are in this present moment with our yang energies, looking to take advantage of following our heart, jumping sort of head first into something new that's driven from the heart, as opposed to traditional sources in the past, sources of masculinity. And then our yin energy, still kind of holding back all of the love and sort of creation, out of this Nine of Pentacles, this sort of creative energy inside of our yin, our divine feminine. Still kind of holding back, stepping in, not sure about how to step in a little bit into that leadership position, but definitely having that passion for it. Maybe less so passion, but really coming from a place of love, right? Being in alignment with what Spirit wanted to see sort of happening with our leadership. So advice for where we're going, what's ahead, and what advice does the Oracle have for what's coming up? Okay. The card we have here is choosing your path. All is possible. So I'm going to go ahead and read from that here. Choosing your path. So definitely, I'm just going to go back to the whole Judgment Day theme, and thinking about this channel is really about helping us get into alignment, right, with love. How do we balance the yang and yin energies in ourselves, in our relationships, in our society? And we are at that moment of that crossroads, right? Judgment Day. I think just even looking at this is a kanji symbol for peace, right? And it really just speaks to this idea of the crossroads, right? We're at this crossroads seeking peace. It's my grandfather, picture of him when he was young there. Definitely his spirit around me, guiding and helping me on this journey. But choosing your path, right? There's many choices in front of us, but only some of those choices take us in alignment, and others take us out of alignment. And there's not a gray area. If we have this thought that, well, I'm not really going to make a decision, or I'm not really up for like stepping into my leadership, my position, letting my light shine. I'm just going to sit back. So just understand something, just to be perfectly clear here. In this moment in time, when you're at a crossroads, there's only two choices. There's no sitting in the middle and not making a decision. Isn't going to work here, right? This is not the time that we're in. We are in a time of our lives where we are being called forth to figure out what side we're on. Okay, there is no middle. There is no middle in this game. There is no playing safe. The days of playing safe are over. Now, I'm not sure they exactly have worked out so well to safe. In fact, if we look around us, things didn't turn out quite so safe. They're kind of pretty unsafe. If we look at the amount of people in the world who are, well, if we look at the amount of fear that runs rampant. So what do we have? Choosing your path. All is possible. So it's a path. I think what's also indicative in this card is this idea of either or. Like, I either have to be happy, or I can be successful, or I can be in leadership. And that's just not true, right? We can do both. It is a question of coming into balance, though, right? So we have to make correct choices, and choices that are in alignment with our heart. So instead of having to choose between the head and the heart, it's like all things are possible. New vistas are ahead, and you have the power to choose. So this is definitely for this day. It's a total reading about stepping into your power, being led by the heart. Do not allow the restrictions and limitations placed on you by the expectations of others to deter your path. Be daring. Cast aside convention and restrictions. Dance, laugh, explore. Go beyond your predictable behavior. Say yes to life. You support others in stepping into their freedom. So again, this connection of being that wise leader, and part of your job going forward in leading is to set that example for others. And you do it by showing you that you don't have to play by the rules, right? Those are the rules that say either you're happy or you're successful. Successful people sacrifice all the time. Life is hard. All of these kinds of things that keep us small and don't allow goodness to come into our life, because we're blocking it, because we have a belief pattern that says we can't be happy and be successful, and that's a belief pattern that probably doesn't serve anyone but the person who's benefiting from exploiting people with that mindset. And what I mean by that is who really benefits when you go to work sick? Does your family benefit? Do you benefit? No, your employer benefits, and the society suffers because you spread germs. None of these things make any sense. And then I don't know why your employer insists on you going to work sick. I don't know. There's just these patterns and these things that we do that we just don't stop and think, do we have to go down this road? Why do we do this? Who's really benefiting? And I might even argue the employer doesn't benefit because your productivity that day isn't that great. Again, you've just made the whole office sick. So I don't know. But I know that when we can stop and say, hey, we're going to do things different. We're going to have humane workplace policies. We're going to have, and what I mean by humane, I mean compassionate. I mean policies that are driven by the heart, very much so in that yin energy. You can still do leadership, but it doesn't have to be through this sense of domination, toxic masculinity, I'm in charge, I'm in power, I have it, I have the control, therefore I can crush, I can force. None of that, that's not balance. It's not balance within a masculine who expresses their masculinity that way. That's tyranny. Yeah, it's not balanced. And so what we're looking at, what Spirit's giving us, is choosing your path. All is possible. What else do we need to know here? The Sacred Traveler wants you to know, choose life on your terms. Okay? When was the last time any of us did that? Myself included. I made this channel, so that's me. That's me starting that out, lighting my torch. Someone else lit my torch, and I'm following in suit. Move beyond those situations that you've outgrown. We kind of like children, in thinking about that wise leader that you were meant to be, that wolf in sheep's clothing. You're a sheep for a while, and then you grow up, right? You get that kind of comfortability. You figure out what planet Earth is about, and you learn the rules of the society. And then there comes that time when it's time for you to unzip your sheep suit and step out as the wolf. Okay? So this is what you've outgrown, right? So where are you going? All is possible. Whatever you can dream, whatever lives inside of you is waiting to be expressed. Sometimes to be free, the traveler needs to put down their pack and just keep walking. There are times to live an ordinary life, but then there are also times to cast ordinary things aside. Fling your arms to the heavens in joy. Okay, so thinking about unloading, right? So there's a lot of things that we think we need in our life that we don't. And sometimes to maintain a certain standard of living, we are compromising our happiness for stuff. So I think this is really good to think about how we might need to cast off, right? Cast off certain things. So the rest of the card says here, we're not on the planet to always meet the needs and expectations of others. We have our own needs and expectations. You're here to explore, expand, and step into your extraordinary self. Don't unconditionally accept the rules you have placed on yourself or that others have placed on you. Just remember, you're born into a world with a bunch of rules that we assume it's always been this way, so it always has to be this way. First of all, that's totally incorrect. The world that our parents and their parents and so forth were born into is not a world that has always existed. There are many, many, many ways in which we've existed. If you think about how old humans are, we're not 2,000 years old when our calendar began, right? There are there's records of humans, not Neanderthals or any of that, like Homo sapiens going back 30 and 40,000 years ago. So we have a very, very short memory, but we act as though what we can remember, our ancestors who are alive, or the stories we've inherited, contain all of the ways in which we can exist. And this is just totally not true. Choose pathways that lead to greater freedom and happiness. So this is what Spirit is telling you. This is the advice going forward. Choose your path and really look to a path that is yours, right? That is your wolf that wants to emerge. Not the path that others have designed for you, but the one in which that is true to your heart. So this is true for both the yang energy and the yin energy. All right, so that gets us to our oracle advice. Let's go ahead and look at, let's see what comes out for future advice for our, what advice does Spirit have for the yang and the yin energy, and we'll go ahead and clarify this choosing your path card. So future direction for the yang. 3 of Wands. Thinking about what comes next, right? So you made that leap of faith, you're jumping into your passion, and then what comes next? Where do you go with that, right? And we'll go ahead and clarify that for our yin. Does she step out of that? Yes. She's in the Knight of Pentacles, right? So from Ace of Pentacles, in the past, that 9 of Swords, like, I don't know. I'm a little bit still like messed up from what I've been through. I know I healed, but I'm not sure if I can really step out into my power. And yes, right, going forward with this Knight of Pentacles, taking that Knight of Pentacles energy, moving slowly, right? Like nothing fast and quick here, but moving from 8 of Swords into the 9 of Pentacles. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful energy. For both the yin and the yang, like really being open to stepping into their new roles, their new leadership, like how they're going to do new balancing. So really embracing the opportunities that are coming up with stepping into leadership, doing leadership in a different way, moving from the heart, coming into alignment with love. All right, so choosing the path. What does... yeah, of course. Justice, right? So how do we do balance? How do we get this into balance? Justice is all about, again, this is the same message from the first half of the reading. So this is a continuation of needing to balance out, again, I referenced toxic ways in which we've done, how we accumulate, how we stand in power, how we do family leadership. So the continuation, right? Like choosing to step out of those well-worn paths, because those are paths that lead to imbalance. Justice is all about pulling things into balance. The truth will set you free, right? Like that is one of the best ways. And in this card, this particular image is showing someone who is not in balance. And who is it? It's our feminine. Our feminine is not in balance. So I'm still trying to bring that yin energy into balance, right? So she's just teetering along. She's got a sword of truth. The scales of justice are like, I don't know if you can see that very well. The scales of justice are like teetering around her head. She's trying to make it from one side to the other, like traversing from sort of a known experience into an unknown. What is that path going to look like? So trying to do that heart energy, trying to really get in touch with our subconscious energies, our feminine energies, but really having a little bit of a struggle there. And so again, that chi energy is really wanting to see that feminine, like a continuation. It's not just like, oh, I got it, I did it, I jumped, I found my heart, I found my heart's desire, jumped in and I tried it. For the yang, or for the yin as well, it's like this has to be a practice, right? And this is also, justice is really also about unearthing and changing, right? What was changed earlier in the reading was this King of Pentacles, changing how we do accumulation, how we do masculinity, how we do family, traditional structures. So we're going to choose a path, and this is going to be a new path, and a path where all things are possible, right? Where we're in balance. That's what all means. All means balance. And that's what we have come to believe, is that you can't have balance. You have to choose. Like either you choose to be cooperative or you choose to be competitive, right? And those do seem kind of contradictory, but I think what's embedded in competition is this idea of innovation, right? Being cooperative isn't innovative, and that's absolutely just nonsense, right? And so just kind of thinking about how we do things different. Let me go ahead and clarify. Here for the masculine. We have the Three of Wands. So clarification on what's coming up next, right? What does the future look like? Okay, we've got Five of Wands. There's that Ten of Pentacles. Definitely more of that family card that matches that King of Pentacles. Also probably dealing and addressing and healing issues around family. Things learned in the family, what gets passed on, and then the Magician doing something new. So really trying to manifest a healthier, healthy family connections, healthy ways of stepping into one's leadership, right? That incorporates more than just, right? So what's different here is like the King of Pentacles is by himself. All the wealth and abundance has to travel through me, kind of the Godfather figure, like come kiss the ring. I'm the man. And I'm the one who holds all of the resources. And we could see this like in patriarchal organizings of companies and countries and whatnot, and versus moving into something more collaborative, right? We're seeing, yes, you have your sage, we've got this this sort of senior person sitting there, but it's not like he's alone, right? This older man here, this masculine, he's petting some dogs, there's some children, people have their back, in fact, turned to him, right? Like they're not even paying attention to him, and he's okay with that. Like he's lower than them, but he's okay to share in his wisdom, to pass it on to other generations, to be in harmony with nature. It's not a a dominance kind of thing, like you've got with this dude over here, right? Like our King of Pentacles here, he's just on the throne by himself, you know, weighed down with all of his riches and you know, his trophies, but you know, he's alone. And yeah, that's not in balance. It's just very much, that's what Spirit is trying to bring into balance. And so this is what's being manifested. Of course, we've got the Five of Wands, right? So this, you're gonna have to stand up and fight, and you're gonna have some conflict, because when you change what's always been done, there are those who are not going to be happy. There are those who are benefiting. I just talked about those who benefit from those arrangements are going to push back. So definitely going to expect some upheaval, going to expect that you've ruffled a few feathers there. That kind of goes with the territory, right? When you make a change in our relationships, it does have a way, or even internally, it does have a way of rippling out to others, because we're all connected. But this is all very positive, right? This is all very positive information. So definitely seeing our yang energy, our masculine, wanting to manifest, choosing to manifest from this joyous and happy place. We've got a couple cards popping out here for the feminine. With the Knight of Pentacles, we've got the Five of Pentacles. Okay, very similar to the popping cards. The Five of Wands on the side of the masculine. To the Ten of Pentacles. Here we go, matching each other very beautifully, very much so in alignment and with each other, kind of trying to balance out internally within their own energies. Ten of Cups, and then King of Wands, which is a little bit different than the Magician that's over there, Magician energy over there for the masculine. So actually, just a minute. For the feminine, you know, ditching this poverty mindset, this, you know, lack of self-worth, this sad, you know, out in the cold. I'm, you know, being small, being subjected to these systems that are crushing on her, trying to just get those, you know, little scraps that someone might put out for you. You know, you're out in the cold, and you know, feeling lack of self-worth, really kind of kicking that to the curb, overcoming that, and then getting our Ten of Cups. And this King of Wands energy is really like being the entrepreneur, being the leader, stepping up into more of a leadership role, taking ownership in the creation of bliss, right? That's our Ten of Cups, is really this this bliss, like bringing everything, all of the joy of this kind of energy into leadership, right? Bringing this into her leadership, even though we've got a very masculine card here with the King of Wands, but you know, bringing her passion, her compassion for community, for children, bringing joy into leadership. So she's definitely working to do that in the future. So that's great. So the advice for the yin is just to ditch that low self-worth, bring up what you know from creating happiness from your childhood. Bring that, you know, that's not the energy we want to, we're not pushing that energy down to step into, you know, sort of old versions of, even though this isn't representative of where it is here, right? Like this King of Swords. We're not doing King of Swords, and really much more passionate kind of energy and leadership. All right, clarifying our justice, although it's still, right, we're still struggling there with that yin energy, for knowing that we can choose our own path, knowing that all is possible. Eight of Wands, Five of Swords, and the Moon. Okay, so it seems like we've gotten change for the masculines coming through, being able to stand up and fight for their what they want, understanding that there are going to be those who push back. We've got that that change card. Fives are change on the masculine side. On the feminine side, we've got our Five in Pentacles. And not feeling like I can earn, not feeling like I'm the one that takes care of myself, I'm the one abundance flows through. No, we're changing that. You are the one abundance flows through. And when it comes to balancing in the chi, it's the Five of Swords, right? So being able, this is really about speaking one's truth, and since we're dealing with clarification of the justice, right? There's a way in which the feminine, right? She's got that sword in her hand that she's struggling to really bring the truth forward, and there's this need of the divine feminine to bring forth her truth for balance. She needs to stand up and fight and bring her voice forward. But we've got the moon card overshadowing, right? So there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of dealing with the shadow self, right? Those fears that are behind, but the truth about the shadow, the things that she's experienced, the things that she knows, the ways in which the world works that we don't have expressed because of suppression of the yin energies. Those energies, that knowledge, that feminine knowledge needs to come forward. This is the time for balance. And this is what Spirit is trying to bring in, very much so. And it's going to be a battle, right? There's a bit of a fight here. These are going to be things that are said that people are not going to want to hear. But they are part of our shadow, right? Our collective shadow. To bring things into balance, the truth must come out. It is the truth that sets us free. And our yin must understand, and bring her truth forward, because her truth, her calling forth the truth, is what sets us all free. All right, so there's a call for truth, a call to stand in one's power, change on the masculine side, change on the feminine side. So what additional animal advice? So earlier in the present moment, we had the wolf. I'm going to use the Spirit of the Animals Oracle by Jody Bergsma. I like this book. Like I said, I'm a big fan of getting our animals, bringing in animal energy, animal totems or spirits there. So going forward here, what advice do we have from our animal guides and animal spirits here? What advice do they have for us today? Wisdom from the animal. We've got the orca whale. The orca, beautiful image here. Card reads, dare to do things differently. This seems to be a theme. Sing your wild song. Manifest your travel dreams. Let me see if this card is here in the book. No. Let's hold this up here. Alrighty. So the orca represents determination. Positive attitude is energetic, loyal, longevity, healing sound, breath, hearing, balanced. So the card here says, dare to do things differently. Sing your wild song. Manifest your travel dreams. Attempt the great journey with confidence. Be loyal. Friends and family are your treasures. Be brave. You are more powerful than you know. This is a total theme. Like Spirit cannot communicate anything to you today. It is that you are a wise leader. The world is waiting for you. Where you go is to choose your path, not the path that you've inherited, the path that you were born to take. Adventure, the orca whale. Bring that with you into the future. Enough of the wolf in sheep's clothing. It's time to let your wolf come out. And use the energy of orca to take you on a new adventure. So what you are asked here, or what this card brings in, is the fierce orca is a powerful totem. Orcas live in pods and have tremendous respect for their guiding matriarchs who can live to be 100 years old. So again, bringing in our divine feminine, bringing in that feminine energy to help us balance out and bring in healing to this to our imbalanced way of life, whether that's internally to ourselves, our relationships, and society. It's all connected. It doesn't matter where. If one of these is impacted, they are all impacted. Orcas are family oriented, and the group members take care of each other. This is that nurturing energy. Those with Orca as totem are strong, determined, and protective. When feeling joyful, they rise up powerfully from the water and create Orca thunder. Orca teaches us the power of breath. If Orca is swimming in your consciousness, try breathing like Orca to release any negativity you may have absorbed. Breathe in as deeply as you can. Hold your breath, then expel with an explosive swoosh, or try making an Orca cry. This can release resentments and greatly increase your chi, the flow of energy, your life force through you. So, let Orca guide you, right? Breath work, sing your song, walk your path, choose your path, not the one that you were inherited, born into, whatever arrangement society best needs you to fit. Don't be small. Let your giant, let that wolf out inside of you. And the Orca is going to take you into the future on an adventure where you can sing your song, do your breath work, and heal. All right, and so we're going to go ahead and get our final bit of oracle advice as we move forward today on March 3rd, and that is to get advice on what's going on from our soul or our soul truth. I have the Soul Truth card, Self-Awareness card deck by Brianne Hovey. So these are fantastic, wonderful cards. What's the soul truth for going forward? What's the advice the Oracle has for going forward for our yin and yang as they choose their own path and move ahead for Thursday, March 4th. March 4th, that's where you're going. Thursday, March 3rd. What's the soul truth? So what is the soul truth that wants to come out for as our yin and yang energies move ahead on their path, set out on their new Orca adventure, unleash their inner wolf, and step into authenticity? So awesome. I love that. Those energies, those animal energies. What's the soul truth that's emerging here? What is the soul truth that's coming forth, or what guidance does Spirit have for them? Please. Okay. So, the soul truth. Am I getting enough rest to restore my energy and fully show up to my life? So this is a little bit interesting, right? So we've got all this passion, all of this energy about choosing your path, being a wise leader, and the advice here is you are the asset. This body is your vehicle. Notice how your body is feeling, how much sleep you are getting, and what you can do to help your body rest. So today's soul action is to take a bath, put some lavender essential oil, and go to bed ridiculously early, or give yourself a timeout today. Notice your body thanking you. Today's mantra: the more I give myself permission to rest, the more I can contribute. So this is really interesting. Okay, this is also very feminine, right? Feminine leadership is not go, 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 burn yourself out. You're the leader, take charge, jump in there. I gave you all of this like advice and direction, but we have to, I love this card because it's tempered with a very nurturing energy. Like, yes, you're going to step into leadership. Yes, the world needs you to to step into your power and be the light that shines for others. So many people need you to shine your light. So much light is needed in the darkness. In this time, right? We need more light in the world. light. See, I got my lights here. Got my salt lamps. I've been putting them all over my house. I love them. But the light we all need is the one inside. And so one of the challenges is that we have learned that to produce, we have to do this in a very toxic, burned out way. Where we go, do, set the agenda, right? Like, we don't want to get too much into this, like, okay, what's the plan? Where are we going? What are we doing? It's because both our masculine, got a whole mess of cards now, and our feminine, right, are both moving forward with plans. But as we move forward, we need to do this in a nurturing, kind, even, balanced way. And that's what this card. Make sure we're getting enough energy, rest, to restore those batteries, to keep those lights shining. So go forth, choose your path. Remember, all is possible. So this card is right in alignment with all is possible. Right there. You can work hard and rest. Right? All is possible. You can be that leader, but you can do it in a nurturing way. You can show up for others without going into codependent, toxic, burned out, depleting myself, right? What's very typical for yin energy is I'm depleting myself for everyone else. And then for our yang energy is like, I always have to be tough and have this shell on, and I can't have any feelings. And I never show myself as like needing anything, needing help, right? Which makes you hardened and bitter when you're in that place where that's, how you're expressing yourself to the world, and then you crack, right? And you turn into this sort of, I've got all this stuff, but I'm alone because I've pushed everybody out of my life. Nobody wants to be around me because it's too harsh. Know what you want to replace this with, right? You want to replace this lonely dude with lots of love, rainbows, pentacles, family, friends, people around you. And people will be attracted to you when you are a happy, joyous person. And you get there by recharging those batteries. So make sure that you're getting enough rest to restore your energy to fully show up into your life. All right, you guys, enjoy. That was your reading for Thursday, March 3rd.